the dominant turkey of the mating season.
Look at this. This is a human child.
Someone's at me.
Ooh. What in?
Man is built like a refrigerator. Oh, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma. I hope you're doing really well. Are you new here? What's your name? What's your story? Where are you from? You today have stumbled upon episode 2 of my Read It or Unhaul It video series, challenge, whatever you want to call it. So welcome back to Move It or Lose It. In this jar here, if you need a recap or if this is your first time watching one of these episodes, these are all of my unread books, and I have them color coded not only according to genre but also according to different kinds of videos that I wanted to make for a while. Here I have these like nice cozy dark brown slips, and on each of the dark brown slips I have a book that is on my shelf that I think maybe I don't want to keep. It's a book that I'm like a little bit sus about. It's a book that I potentially think that after I'm done reading it, I'm not gonna want to keep. And you might be like, well, why would you even have those books on your shelf in the first place? A lot of the books on the slips in here were gifts. Some of them were gifts to me, some of them were sent to me by PR. Some of them, frankly, I've just had on my shelf for years and years unread, and I'm older now, I'm different now, and my tastes have changed, and I think maybe I won't like them anymore. I really wanted to start my own version of Read It or Unhaul It, which is such a fun series here on BookTube, because I'm going to be moving at the end of summer to begin grad school. I'll be moving across the country, if you haven't seen my last vlog update. And do you like moving books? After moving a couple times now, it's no longer fun. It's lost all the magic, and it's just pure pain to move a home library. So that is the reason I'm doing this, because I would like to basically clear out as much as I am physically capable of clearing out. And if there's anything that I don't want to take with me to a new home, it needs to go. Like, it just needs to skedaddle, because it's not paying my rent. I'm actually paying for its rent. That being said, this series has another component to it, because in the same mindset that I was like, I need to clear out what I have, at the beginning of the year I was also like, you need to not bring anything else into the clearing. And so I put myself on a book buying ban the start of January 2025. How do you think that went? It actually went really well, okay? It actually went really well. It's hella broken at the minute, but I went so much longer without buying a book than I thought I was ever going to. Very proud of myself, and I actually only broke the book buying ban so I could participate in my own book club. And when I went traveling abroad to Scotland, there were so many tempting bookstores. And so this is the stack at the start of episode 2 of all the books that I bought in 2025, minus what we already got on the shelves in the last episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 books. We have 10 books to get on the shelves. No more, no less. Actually, we have an update there as well. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it. It just happened. I went to some more bookstores, not in my province, in this month, in May. And this is what happened. This is what happened. So we have some new books to add to the pile of shame. That was supposed to be my no book buying year, but to be fair, 2 of them were gifts sent to me by Book of the Month. Love you, and I'm gonna add these because I want to read those so bad. And then we have this. This was the book haul that I bought out west, which is also in this vlog, and we bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bought 6 books. We have Qualicum Beach, A History. We have a portrait, another copy, a gorgeous copy of Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. Because Venus crossed an alpine violet on the day that I was born. We have Winter by Adam Gopnik. This looks really good. We have Dubliners by James Joyce and Gender Trouble by Judith Butler. Oh god, okay. All of that together brings the stack up to 18 books. 18 books. I can't put something from this pile on the shelf unless I unhaul something. So we have our work set out for us. Let's crack on. Okay, the rules. The rules. I draw one of those slips, and it's a title from my shelf. I can either read it or unhaul it, or in some cases I can still read the whole thing and unhaul it, and only by getting rid of one of these slips can I put something from the pile of shame back onto my shelf, so that we maintain some sort of equilibrium. Of course, the goal is to get through the entire stack so that eventually we can just be taking books off without having to put something back on. If I do end up reading something and I don't want to unhaul it, it just goes back on the shelf and I have to pull another slip. We have a lot of work ahead of us, so I'm just going to stop talking and see what the jar has in store for us. Oh dear. Hi bookwormies. I just made the most disgusting cup of instant coffee because I ran out of regular coffee. I feel like I need to pick me up, and I feel like I need to pick me up because I'm about to pick the first book that we're going to be reading for episode 2 of Move It or Lose It. I kind of actually want to call the title of the video maybe something like one of your suggestions that you left on the last episode, on the first episode. So if you haven't seen episode number 1, I will link it here, but intro Emma already gave you the drill. So all that's left for me to do, let's just get into it. Let's just pull one. I just got a scoop and there is one like right in the middle of my palm, this one. Okay, oh boy, this is always like scary to me. What does that say? Blood. Noodle blood. Unholy blood? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. Unholy blood. I own something called Unholy Blood. Oh, okay, I think this is a manga. No, I think it's a manhwa. This could be a very quick first round. Okay. Okay, so here it is. This is what it was referring to. This is volume 1 of Unholy Blood by Lena Lim. I actually really like this cover. This is really gorgeous, but yeah, a lot of the manhwa, I think all of the manhwa that I have has been sent to me by Yen Press, who publishes these, and obviously I don't choose them myself, so a lot of the times like they're just not my cup of tea, but this is good. I'm gonna give this a try. Oh no. Pureblood vampire Hyan Park wanted was a normal life, but the emergence of murderous vampire-human hybrids 10 years ago transformed the world into a dangerous place, forcing her to lie low. When a beloved professor of hers is murdered though, and a local police captain aims his suspicions at Hyan, things start getting personal. Okay, so based on that synopsis, I would probably not pick this up for myself, but you never know. Stuff I've been sent before that I've picked up on a whim from them have been like 5 stars, have made it to my favorite books of the year list, so we're gonna give this a fair shot. I'm so happy to be filming another episode. Let's read. A little bit of the ways through so I can finally tell you what it's actually about and like what the plot is and what is kind of going on. So we follow this girl who is an orphan, and she's grown up her whole life in an orphanage that's like attached to a church that has taken her in, and she still lives there. She's like, I think she's an adult now, she's in university, and she still lives at this orphanage, but now she's the one who takes care of kids a lot. However, in this world, we're in South Korea. There have always been vampires, like people, you're just born a vampire. I don't really know how it like totally works yet, but this new thing is happening where people who are like humans, they were born human, they are now becoming vampires at whatever stage in their life. I think whether that's a kid, whether you're an adult, and I don't know if it's clear yet whether like other vampires are turning these people into vampires later in their life. Now, what page is this? 80, oh goodness. I am 87 pages through Unholy Blood, and I don't know about this one, guys. I don't know. I don't like the art style, which does not bode well, and the writing is actually really cringe and really low effort. You should really watch that mouth of yours. Or do you want to find out how do you look in a prison jumpsuit? The word like punk has been used so many times. I just can't with this. Also the word, this is the first time, write it down, document it. This is the first time I've seen the word Riz used in a book. Like, you are seriously saying, oh my gosh, did you Riz her up? So weird, even coming out of my own mouth. So Hyan, who has been a vampire since birth, but she's like always tried to kind of hide this fact. She's going to university, she's such a loner, she doesn't have any friends, but one night she like outdrinks this senior at a bar where all the university people are, and everyone like suddenly gains huge respect for her because she put down incredible amounts of alcohol. Truly a talent. I guess that's like maybe a vampire thing. She is attacked on the way back from the bar, like everyone just kind of ditched her. She's attacked by a vampire, and the vampire's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna turn you into a vampire, and she like whips off her disguise and she's like, joke's on you, I'm already a vampire. That's how we kind of learn what's going on with her. The plot really starts to pick up because she has this favorite professor at university. Like, everyone loves him. He's very young, he's gotten ahead very quickly, and he's just like such a nice professor. He's like the kind of teacher that everyone just likes because he just like is so caring, is really passionate about his subject. And anyway, everyone's like in love with this professor. This other guy in the class who everyone is like, why is he here? Like, he's been here for years. He's kind of doing like the Edward Cullen thing where they just keep repeating high school I guess, because he's also a vampire. This revenge plot begins when this other guy, who's kind of a bully as well, actually murders the professor that everyone loves and, like, you know, drains his blood and such. 87 pages through, I'm just really not into it. I know there's this other guy that's gonna be like her love interest because he showed up early on at the orphanage, but I'm just like not into it. And I feel like if I finish volume 1, I'm not going to want to continue on with this. I will say it's like a lot of action sequences, which frankly I just find boring, and the dialogue is just very cliche and overwrought. So I think, guys, I think book number 1 is a DNF, and I think it will be a lose it. 87 pages through, we're gonna make the ultimate decision to DNF and put this into the unhaul pile. Ooh, this means we can put something on the shelf now, and it means we can then pick another book to read and try out. So here is the pile so far, the one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. This is our new books that I've bought, well, supposedly on the book buying ban, which is kind of out the window now. Let's just pick the first one. This one I've actually already read, so this will be nice to get it on the shelf because this is The Door. I read this last month, and this is a fantastic novel. So let's get it on the shelves. Here we are. Here's how they're looking. I think, if I'm not mistaken, The Door is gonna go over here somewhere. Okay, this is R, but this is T. Oh, is there room on here? Oh, wait, I think I could probably squeeze it on this shelf. 1 second. Oh, oh no. It's like, yeah, that's fine. That looks good. Okay, let's pick a new book. Honestly, I'm in the mood for a good cry. I don't really feel particularly in the mood to heavily DNF anything. I'm not particularly like in the mood to be like, oh my gosh, I have to finish everything. I feel like I'm in a pretty good headspace to give everything like a nice try. Try and take something from the bottom if that's possible. Like, oh, sorry, I don't know if that noise is really bothersome for anyone else. It really gives me the shivers. Okay, I'm like pulling from the bottom. Oh, that's actually helpful. I know there's some down here that I need to get. Nothing. I just want to get, ooh, okay, so I've got one. Hold on. I've got one. Okay, let's see. What? Alya sometimes. Oh, I think this is actually another one from Young Press that was just like sent to me by the publisher. Does not manga or manhwa. I think this is actually a light novel, and I think this is not the full title because of course like light novels always have ridiculously long titles. I'm pretty sure the full title is like Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian or something like that. When I remember, this one looks really cute, so let's grab it. I'm actually kind of excited about this. Oh, actually I think it's behind here. I see it. This. Yeah, okay, this is it. Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Here is the synopsis. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Guys, why are they... What in... Was that necessary? Okay, I don't know about this. I actually don't know about this. Next day, and no. Immediately no. I've seen all I need to see. I made it 13 pages through this one, and just no, I absolutely cannot. This one does have like illustrations. We're in a private school that goes from like middle school age to high schooler age. I'm not too sure what middle school age actually is because we don't have that here. At that point apart, they're kids, okay? They are kids, and Alya is not a high schooler. She is a middle schooler. She's very aloof. She is extremely fond after. She's looked at as an idol because she has white hair and she speaks Japanese and she speaks Russian, and everyone like looks up to her, and all of the guys, blah blah blah. First of all, just not my thing to begin with. But the way that it's written about is deeply uncomfortable, not to mention that there are, like I said, photos in here. I feel like I can't even show this. Can I show this? I don't know. Like, what are we doing? Alya, who I think has a crush or is starting to develop some feelings for the guy next to her. Like, this is what the whole plot is about, is that she thinks she's like mumbling in Russian and no one can understand Russian, but in fact the boy that she's sitting next to in class actually does speak Russian as well, and like he's catching everything that she's saying in code, and it's supposed to be this cute thing. The point that I was trying to make was that Alya goes home to her family and she has a younger sister. Okay, so Alya's in middle school, her sister is even younger than her.
Are you 17? 6.
Yeah. Not to mention that yesterday when I was like, oh, I actually don't know if I want to read this, I was flicking through here trying to be like, oh, let's like read a little bit from a passage further down the book and just see if the plot progresses or something. You know what I flipped to? Sister dearest, I'm in trouble. What is it, my dear brother? Don't freak out, but gulp. I might have a foot fetish. Where am I? How did we get here? Okay, so Unhaul, apparently we're having a rapid fire first few rounds of episode 2. This is exciting. So let's put something back on the shelf because oh my god, the things I've seen this day. Someone's at me. Let's see what else the jar has to offer me this week. Please, dear God, give me something good. There's one right here. Yes, okay. I'm just gonna go with this one because it was right on top. Ooh, what does that say? The walk, the horses, the hero's walk. Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about this last night. It's right here. We have something maybe of substance upon us. This is The Hero's Walk by Anita Rabadami. This is not the first book that I have from her. I read Can You Hear the Nightbird Call in university. Really liked that book. And this one I picked up from a little free library. It is in ye old TBR jar because I've had this on my shelves for years. And this is one of the books on my shelves that like unless something literally pops up out of nowhere and tells me to pick it up, like I can just tell it's gonna sit there for eons and eons. On top of that, I think this is more of like a family, like a very close intimate family saga or a family narrative, I guess, and I'm just really, I struggle with those. I'm very picky with those. A lot of time that's not what interests me in literature. I really liked her first book, so I'm hoping that this is gonna be a hit. This one is set on the Bay of Bengal and the modern world is fast encroaching upon Sripathy Rao. His mother is disappointed that he never became a doctor. His sister is the bane of local matchmakers, and his only son prefers embarrassing student activism over employment. Everything changes when his daughter, who's been estranged from him because she married a white man, she's killed in a car crash. And is it their son or their daughter? Their daughter, so Sripathy's granddaughter comes to stay with him and like be his ward, and he has to take care of her, and that's what this is about. So I don't know. The storyline honestly doesn't interest me, like the synopsis doesn't, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm excited for something that is not the thing that I just read, so let's give The Hero's Walk a go. I don't know, I would kind of like to get this one on top on the shelves. I think there's room for it on the shelf that it goes, so let's put glaciation, so bad at saying that word, on the shelves because he's gonna go right down here with my other nonfiction snowy polar works. I kind of just want to arrange this by size, so if this little guy, which I got at Topping, such a nice bookshop, and I would like to read that really soon. I want to read everything from this shelf really soon. Hello, it is a few hours later. I got changed because I'm going to the gym tonight, but I do have an update for you already. I am 50 pages through The Hero's Walk. I read a bit and then I actually found an audiobook in my library, so I picked that up. So I was like going back and forth between the two and I made it around 50 pages. I think this is a little over 300 pages, but something about her and something that I found with Can You Hear the Nightbird Call is that her writing is kind of like addictive. I just think it's very natural. This one does open with the man in his 50s, Sripathy. He's writing little pieces kind of about like the state of affairs for his local newspaper. He lives with his wife, their son. He also lives with his sister, and they also all live together with his mother. Everyone is not really having the best time. Like, he's a disappointment to his mother, his son is a disappointment to him. His son is like doing, I don't know if it's a doctorate in like social work or something like that, which I mean would impress me. His sister is like in her 40s. She's never found a husband. Horror. No one is talking about the fact that he has banished, sent into exile, like just never wants to hear from her again, has like disowned their firstborn daughter, I think, Maya. Left her hometown and she went to study on the west coast of Canada somewhere, but now she's living in Vancouver. And the reason why he and his wife as well, although his wife really isn't in on it and she's kind of resentful of Sripathy for doing this to their daughter, the reason why he's disowned her because, well, in Vancouver she fell in love with a white dude and married a white dude and had kids with him, and I guess that was just not very appreciated by him. So yeah, they have not had contact with Maya for 9 years, except the book begins on the morning when he gets a phone call telling him that Maya and her husband have both died in a car accident, and now their 7-year-old daughter is an orphan, and he is like the only remaining family she has left, so she is gonna have to leave Vancouver to come and live with him and his family. Like I said in the beginning, this kind of storyline like doesn't interest me, doesn't tantalize me. I also am not very drawn towards depictions or narratives of grief and mourning and family fun, except it's not family fun, it's family dysfunctionality, and that's just not really what I enjoy reading about. Like I said, her writing is just really something, really addictive, and it's really easy to get through. So if you are someone who likes those kind of narratives, I think you would really enjoy her in general and The Hero's Walk in particular. Whoa. Say hello. Oh my goodness, you're such a big cat.
Look at this. This is a human child.
And this is Greedo. Side note, I became obsessed with Star Wars when I was like 10 years old. My favorite characters were all of the different weird ass bounty hunters. Like I just really loved them. And I really liked Greedo and the elephant guy with like the vacuum nose. Yeah, I thought he was cool as hell. Anyway, because those kind of stories aren't for me, I can just tell I'm not gonna enjoy this book, and if I finished it, I am like 100% sure the rating would just be a 3-star, because I think it's like a pretty good novel, but just not things that I'm interested in reading about. So where like you know what's gonna happen, because when Shripati hears that his daughter is dead, he is obviously gonna go through all the stages of grief. He's gonna be like, why did I banish her in the first place? Like, that's my daughter, it doesn't matter who she marries. And I can just, yeah, I did go and read like the last page of the book, and I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, I am gonna DNF this, and I think I am going to unhaul it. When I took it in the first place from the little library box, like I just took it because I was like, oh my gosh, I really loved Anita Rabadami's first book that I read. I think she's so talented. Let's give her second one a try. But if I went back now, I probably wouldn't take it, because I've just grown and I know my reading tastes a lot more, and these kind of narratives just simply don't interest me right now. Maybe when I'm like older, but I just don't really like reading intimate family portraits. That's not my jam. One is also going to be a DNF, but I can say that this is the book so far in the video that I've enjoyed the most my time with. And like I said, if you are interested in this, if you're interested in this kind of lit and grief and family happenings, then 100% recommend this book. Back to the free library it goes. Maybe I could even return it to the free library that I got it from in the first place, because you guys suggested that I do like a little free library video with my brother, and I am going to be going back to my hometown relatively soon, so that's what we're gonna do. This is like the first pile I have in here. I would kind of like to put American Psycho on the shelves. I don't know, to me that's like a summery book. But yeah, this is another one of the ones that I got in Scotland, so I'm gonna pop this guy on the shelf. If there's room, we might have to do a little bit of rearranging. I do actually have another Bret Easton Ellis book on my shelf, which is Less Than Zero. Which one, if you've read, guys, what do I do? Which one do I read first, American Psycho or Less Than Zero? I don't think there's enough room on this shelf for him, so is there any room here? Ooh, that's pretty packed. Okay, I got American Psycho on the shelves. I am just so distracted, I don't even want to read. Like, it's just so green, and there has been a flock of swallows outside my window all day long, and they're just like flying so close, just like they've been here for hours. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe there's bugs in the air, but I'm just like mesmerized. And so I just love this place. I just love this place so much. I can see rabbits right now as well. So green. This is my first time living here in the spring and summer months, and the explosion of greenery is so wonderful. Let's pick another book. I would like to finish something in this vlog, fingers crossed. So let's see. Okay, there's 2 in here. There's 2 brown slips. I'm gonna go with the one that I'm like touching, I guess. Okay, book number, what is this? Book number 4 is Talisman Song. Tailchaser Song. Forgot about this book. I forgot about this book. This is so funny to me. I'll show you why it's funny. Let me grab it. It's down here on this shelf. It's in this very, very sad, sun-soaked, sun-bleached, I guess, stack. Let me get it for you. Okay, so... oh my gosh, look at this thing. This is, yeah, Tailchaser Song by Tad Williams. So this one I also got from a book box, or did I get this thrifted? I think I might have bought this actually. Yep, I got it thrifted. This looks insane. I bought this before I got Calcifer. Look, there's Calcifer right there. Wow, this looks insane. Apparently this is about Tailchaser, who is a valiant, strong, like, I don't know, orange cat, and he goes to cat hell to save his friend. I don't know if like this is gonna, I don't know how this is gonna go. This could be the best thing I've ever read. It's kind of giving me that feeling. Oh my gosh, and it comes with a map. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this. Let's do it. Hey guys, it's the next day and I have another update for you. I'm so happy with my hair today. I feel like I finally really got into like a good routine with it and like understand how to bring the waves out a little bit more. I think now that I've got it to like the good texture that I want, I'll try to share what I've been doing or using in maybe like a weekly vlog or something, because I've been getting some questions about that. I'm just so happy. It's taken years, but I feel like I finally am quite like happy with my hair. Anyway, Tailchaser song by Tad Williams. Look at that. I am actually 158 pages through this thing. This copy, wow, my books don't smell like that anymore. This is a very old copy, and Tailchaser song, in fact, I think was published in 1985. A fantasy about cats, like we're all set from the point of view of different cats in the world, but it's not just following cats. So how do I explain this? I'm kind of loosely enjoying my time with it. I was really enjoying my time with it yesterday when I read probably the first 80 pages of it yesterday. We are mainly following this handsome orange tabby on the cover who really resembles Calcifer. His name is Pretty Tailchaser. It's so cute. I love all of the names for cats in here. If you need like cat name suggestions, I will read off a bunch for you. But Pretty Tailchaser, he is kind of alone in the world. Well, he's motherless and fatherless at this point when the novel opens, but he's currently living on like the porch or the deck. Oh, Frederico's back. I was wondering where there's been a little spider in my bedroom. He's so cute. He's so goddamn cute. I haven't let Calcifer eat him because Calcifer's a big bug hunter. You're so cute. Freddy lives on the porch of a human in this world. What are they called? They're called the big folk. Humans do exist in this world, but I really like and appreciate how like it's very much set from the mythology and the worldview of the cats. And in their mythology, that is the way that humans actually came about. We had this cat, ooh, what was his name? There's so many cat names that I'm just glossing over that one, but he was too prideful, and so one of the gods turned him into the first man, and that's how we have humans. They actually came from like the pride of cats. But the story begins because Freddy has this girlfriend named Hushpad, and they're like two peas in a pod. They're really liking each other, and they're about to like do this, I don't know, it's like this mating dance or something where like they formally make it known that they are bound to one another. They're interrupted or something and they're like, you know what, we'll finish it tomorrow night. Like, it's clear how we feel about each other. Tomorrow night never gets to come because what happens to Freddy's GF? She disappears. She's gone somewhere. And Hush, I'm gonna call him Tailchaser from now on. Tailchaser is so upset and like be like, where's Hushpad? Like, where's she gone? This is so unlike her. It turns out there's a council meeting that night at like the cat gathering, and they're like, something is going on, something's not right, something's been amiss these past few weeks. Like, other cats and kittens are disappearing and we don't know why. So Freddy's community, Tailchaser's community, decides that they're gonna send out a cat delegation to like the cat queen, who is way off in cat court. Tailchaser sadly does not get chosen, even though he really wants to go. He's quite a young cat. I think maybe he's only a year or two old maybe, but he takes it upon himself to like go anyway. So the next morning he just leaves his village, leaves his human porch behind where he like sleeps in a blanket, and like the humans kind of sometimes leave him scraps or stuff like that, and he decides to go out to the court and like beseech on Hushpad's behalf. In this world, obviously there's every kind of animal that we have in our world, but it's so cool to see it from the cat's point of view. Like I was loving that, like all the different words that they have for each animal. Like there's a scene where Tailchaser encounters a squirrel who's obviously like so upset that there's a cat in his woods. And he gets to like interact with the squirrels, which are called like Rick-chick-chicks. I think the squirrels are called Rick-chick-chicks, and it's just so fascinating to hear like all of the names that the cats have for animals, like animals that they eat a lot, like mice and rats, they call squeakers, and then their names for like birds, whether it's a predatory bird or smaller birds that they could eat. I just thought it was really cool. It was also really reminding me of like Lord of the Rings, and it still is, honestly. It's kind of like a cat Lord of the Rings in my mind right now, because Tailchaser is on his way to the court, and along the way, like he is kind of like clung on to by this little kitten named Pouncefoot. Is it Pouncefoot? I think they just call him Pounce mostly. And Pounce is like, I'm not letting you leave all by yourself. Like, I'm gonna go with you. Even though he's just this little kitten and like the world is maybe a little bit too big and dangerous for him. And Tailchaser's like, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna have to take care of you along the way. So it kind of just feels a little bit like Sam and Frodo. Tailchaser's cats live on kind of the outskirts, and so they're a very rural community, and they aren't really too up to date about what's going on. So along the way, Tailchaser and Pounce kind of meet up with so many other cats. My favorite cat so far has been Eatbugs. His name is Eatbugs, and he is a very senior cat who is a bit addled because he's so old, but I just really love Eatbugs. I love senior cats. I love senior cats so much. Like I said, I'm 158 pages through. Clearly, I didn't really want to DNF it yet. However, I am kind of not enjoying it as much as I was anymore. I am at the halfway point now, and I am a little bit upset about it. There have been so many funny things. For example, Tailchaser just got high out of his mind on cat mint. There's like other things that are quite interesting. Like Eatbugs tells them about dogs, and the cats call dogs growlers. So funny to me. In those days, dogs had not become the lick man, drunk slobber wretches we see today. Sorry, it's dog slander, I know. But as someone who used to be more of a dog person for years, I am just like a cat lover to my core now. I still love dogs. I would still love to have a dog, but cats are really where my heart is. And that kind of brings me to the point, which like, would I like this book, or would I keep reading this book if the animals in question that we were following were anything other than cats? Because like everything that I'm liking about this book has specifically to do with cat nature and cat characteristics, and the fact that like the main character is like, I'm just picturing Kelsifer, and that is so fun and funny to me. But like the story is honestly really dragging. It is just a bit slow, and it's written in a very young voice, but it's like very 80s fantasy, if you know what I mean. I don't know, it's like starchy. That doesn't make any sense. What the hell am I saying? Not as exciting as it could be. I am very invested in learning more about like the cat mythology and the creation of the world. I think that's really cool. The main driving factor behind the plot right now is that there is some other entity out there, because we still don't know what's like gobbling up or making all of these cats disappear. And it turns out that other cats are now at the Queen of the Cats court to talk to her about something that is out there. And we had a scene already where like Pouncefoot saw, I think it's like this cat that they keep seeing on the back, a cat with red claws. Something I do miss from books that I feel like they just don't do anymore, or a lot of books don't do anymore, is that they would start their chapters off with quotes from other poets or authors or something like that. So many books that I read as a kid used to start their chapters off with quotes, and I just love that so much. And this one has been quoting a ton from Wallace Stevens, William Wordsworth. I feel like there was like a P.B. Shelley in there. Yeah. I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe for sure. So I don't know, that's been fun, and I think we should bring that back. So I'm gonna keep reading a little bit more for sure. I also found a free audiobook of this on Audible, like it doesn't cost anything, so I've been listening to it too, but I was really like tickled by it in the beginning because I just love cats so much, and like following a little Kelsifer was so fun. But like I said, it's getting a bit is stalling out a little bit for me now. And I also thought this was a series, but I went on Goodreads and it's not listed as a series. So if this is a standalone fantasy, that's really interesting because it has a glossary. Like there's a ton of work put into this. There's a glossary with so many terms in the cat world and a ton of characters. Anyway, so I am gonna read more of this for sure. This is the farthest we've made it through a book in this episode yet, but I'll be back soon to give you some more updates. Also, let me introduce Frederico. It is later. I just made a little coffee. We've hit a snag. This one I got to page 206, so I got a little bit further. I don't think I want to keep going. I think I'm really not enjoying that, and it feels like I'm like pushing myself. I'm just not in the mood right now to complete like books for the sake of completing books. I know there's so many more good books out there. Just the more repetitive traveling scenes just keep happening. It feels like the plot is moving so slowly, and I'm like, why do we need all of this? It's becoming very hard to, I don't know, not even stay focused, but just like not fall asleep because hardly anything is happening. We're just walking around. I'm also like now I think finally unraveled the whole philosophical existential threat or debate to the world, and it is ultimately heading towards like a I had to step away for a second. Ideological battle in the world, I guess, is centered around humans and like cats becoming, or cats living in humans dwelling and stuff like that. I don't care anymore, and I'm actually really sad about this one because I was enjoying it at the beginning and I love cats so much, and I really wanted to finish this, but it's not very good. It's really not very good in my opinion, and I'm so sad. It's really gone downhill for me. It is really reminding me still of The Hobbit, but this is just so much sleepier and takes so much longer to get through, and it's just like repeated scenes over and over and over again, and I feel like I don't care. And I'm so sad because I wanted to follow little Calcifer as a protagonist. Good morning. I never ended up picking anything last night. I am still feeling really decently upset about Tailchaser's song because I really wanted to like this, and the fact that like I'm not finishing it, that's the whole point of this episode, is like read it or unhaul it. And I don't want to read it, but I also don't want to unhaul it. But like, girl, it's gonna be one or the other. Like, don't just leave it on your shelves taking up space and then have to move it all the way across the country when you're not gonna read it. It's just like, I don't want to part ways with it because it has an orange cat on the cover. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. I really like this little cover. Anyway, I think what I am gonna do, I didn't get any further in. I was like, ugh, do you want to pick it up? And every time I was just like, no, I don't want to pick it up. So sadly, what I thought was gonna be the first book finished is not gonna be. So I am gonna take the bookmark out officially, and I guess this is gonna go in the unhaul pile. Let's show you the pile. I think we should get this one on the shelves. So I have all of these, but this one was at the bottom of that pile, and I just feel like it's old. It should be treated very kindly, and I want to find a place for this. This is Amid Snowy Waste. This is one of the most beautiful books I have. It's about like Svalbard and the exploration of Svalbard. So yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna put this. This might be troubling to find a place for, especially because I would like to, I don't know, display it a little bit nicely, and because Tailchaser's song was like stacked vertically, I didn't actually gain any room on the shelves. Kind of want to pull the next book before I put that on the shelves and put this in the unhaul pile. That is so sad. That is so sad. There's our big stack so far. That's honestly a lot of progress. And then here's the jar. I've opened it. I see, okay, there's one there and there's one there. Which one? That one I can't really make out the title. Is that a V? And that one, I can't see anything. I think I'm just gonna go with this one. Oh God. Oh, Love Theoretically. Love Theoretically. Pulled Love Theoretically by Alya Hazelwood, which is a hardcover, and it's right there on my big hardcover shelf. So, oh boy. That ponytail was giving me a massive headache, but Love Theoretically by Alya Hazelwood. This is it. Okay, this is it for Miss Alya. I am calling it right here. I've read 2 previous books by her. I've read, what's the one on the blue? What's the blue cover? I'm blanking on that one. And then I've also read her novella. I don't remember either of them. That's the problem. Something about freezing or something. Anyway, if you don't know her, she is a romance author who writes like STEM romance novels with like people working usually in the sciences. So Love Theoretic, what is the first one called? The Love Hypothesis? I think it was The Love Hypothesis. That one was about a graduate student and a professor on campus, like not her professor or whatever. And then the other novella that I read, Frosty Times in the Snow, Freeze You Out. NASA Man, that one was about someone working in NASA and someone who like wanted to work at NASA. The novella was actually really bad in my opinion. I actually did like the first like 30%, 40% of The Love Hypothesis, and then it just got so silly. So this is the last, this is it. This is the last time I'm gonna give Alya Hazelwood a chance with Love Theoretically. The reason that this is on my shelf and the reason that I haven't unhauled it, even though I haven't enjoyed either of her two previous works, is because you guys said that even if you didn't enjoy those works, Love Theoretically was the one that you enjoyed and you thought that I should give it a go before I completely reject Alya Hazelwood's work and like just think that it's not for me. Like I should try this one first, basically. This one, is it fake dating again? Because wasn't The Love Hypothesis fake dating? Okay, so in this one we have Elsie, who's a theoretical physicist, but she's really not getting paid. A lot of this does deal with like the harsh reality, I think, of being in STEM. Elsie makes up for her non-existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend. Jack Smith, that was the best we could do. Jack is the love interest, and he's actually the older brother of like the client that she's supposed to be fake dating, and he is an experimental physicist. So I guess it's a battle of the physicists of theoretical and experimental. Sit down, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna make a coffee. I would really like to finish a book that I halfway enjoy in this vlog. That is the goal. Well, that's not really a goal. That's just what I would like to happen. And this one was given to me by Book of the Month, so thank you. And I hope I like it. Something might be happening. I'm not hating it. I'm enjoying many an aspect so far. Alya Hazelwood's books read so quickly, so I think it's literally been, I don't know how long it's been, not very long since my last update, but I'm already 102 pages through, and this is not an update to tell you I'll be putting it down. I, in fact, will be continuing. There are some typical things about Alya Hazelwood's books that are still in Love Theoretically and that I just hate and that just grind on my gears, and I'm trying so hard to ignore them, but it's just like stupidly funny and stupidly cringy that I can't. Elsie is an adjunct professor in theoretical physics, so it basically means that she is underfunded, poorly paid, doesn't have any benefits, has to do so much work, and teaching isn't even what she wants to do in the first place. Jack, the love interest, like I said, is the older brother of the guy, Greg, that Elsie is fake dating because Greg has something going on. We don't know what yet. Something going on in his life that he doesn't want us to tell his parents about. We want him to obviously be dating someone and to marry some woman. So that's where Elsie comes in, because this is kind of one of the only ways she's able to meet her paycheck is to like work as a fake girlfriend. The book begins, Elsie is about to do an interview for finally like a professor role, not just an adjunct professor, but someone who is gonna like be able to work at one institution, MIT, and like have more of a stable job that pays better and like hopefully gives her benefits and stuff. This is where she meets Jack again, and Jack is like, well, what the hell? Like I know you as the girl who dates my brother and is a librarian for children, not someone with their PhD in theoretical physics. To make matters worse, Jack is an experimental physicist, and so we have this whole beef between the theoretical people and the experimental people, which I'm really enjoying getting more of a perspective into. And there's also the fact that Jack actually like published this article in some theoretical physics peer-reviewed journal as a prank to basically be like theoretical physicists are just speaking a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It got published. The branch of theoretical physics has been like severely underfunded because of this article. It was pulled and it was like, this isn't real. I don't know. So he's just done a lot of harm to the theoretical physicist community. So Elsie, even before she ever knows Jack as like that Jack who wrote the fake paper as a prank, she hates him. And so now they're coming back together in this situation, and the candidate that Elsie is competing against for her job as professor is the candidate endorsed by Jack. So it is an enemies to lovers, I guess. The fake dating doesn't apply to her and Jack, it applies to her and Greg, who's Jack's brother. Now that I've got that out of the way, the stuff that I just can't. Every male love interest in Alya Hazelwood's books is just like large and like whatever, be tall, be large. It's the way that she describes them that just boggle reality. I read to you some of the ways he's been described. Okay, great. I thought I was alone. Wasn't I alone? But Greg's older brother is in the room. Did I overlook him? Or maybe I mixed him up with the refrigerator. They are similarly sized after all. Man is built like a refrigerator. Sky soaring. He's a skyscraper. That's another rectangular shape. The amount of times that the main character has to walk into the love interest and like bump into their stainless steel fridge-like chest is just bonkers. I didn't see him and stepped into his chest like it was a supermassive black hole, which it wasn't. A black hole, that is. Plenty supermassive though. He's built like someone He's built like someone who has a CrossFit decal on his car and drinks protein shakes while reading Men's Health's powerlifting column. His hands are described as giant paws. Get your paws off me. A gigantic mountain of muscles. It just makes me angry because the deeper and deeper... You know what? Let's not go down the hole. Other things I can't get past with Alya Hazelwood's formula, and it is very much a formula, like the way that she approaches writing her books, at least the ones that I've read, they're pretty much all the exact same, with certain things tweaked here and there, but the main character always has to be kind of this like adorkable person with like, I don't know, Tumblr inherited interest. Their whole personality is just like, okay, we're gonna make this girl like just really like cheese. She also really loves Twilight. It just seems like all these things, and especially the way that she writes, it just feels like pandering or trying to pander to a younger audience. The way that she talks about things, the way that she describes her main character, the interest that she has, the language in which she describes the interests that they have. Because like, I don't care, you can like cheese and Twilight, but it's the language that she uses to describe their interests, and especially the conversations and the way that the conversations are structured between Elsie, our main character, and her best friend, who is her roommate. It's just so like Tumblr Twitter coded, and it's not actually how I feel people would speak. Like, it's just really cringe. It's really cringy in my opinion, and I really struggle to get through those sections because I'm like, this is like such stilted online vernacular that isn't actually the way that people talk to each other in real life when they're not typing in like a 2012 Tumblr chat box. That's a bit disappointing, the dialogue. Reasons why though, I'm enjoying this one far more than I did The Love Hypothesis and Below Zero! I got it, Below Zero, thank you. Her novella is because there are slight differences in tone, in the way that she tackles the issues that she talks about in her novels, because Alya Hazelwood is also really great at shining a light on the woes of academia and the reality of academia, specifically science-related academia. But she's doing it in a different way in here, and she's also doing it in a different way because obviously all of her main characters are women, and so it's talking about women's experience in STEM. I'm finding that she's actually discussing these topics in a very just like raw, brutal, realistic way, and I really enjoy that approach so much more. It feels less performative, it feels less like it's wrapped in a bow, and it just gets like straight to the point. And when Elsie is like telling the reader about her day-to-day life, and it's not wrapped in this like, well, sometimes it is wrapped in this like online-y language. I don't know what else to call it. I'm really struggling to categorize the way that Elsie speaks, but a lot of times it's just so real. I'm also really appreciating the fact that like in each of the novels, it is very much tied to like a financial position as well, because whether you are a graduate student or in Elsie's case, a professor, or in the girl in Below Zero's case, I think she was like did she want to be an intern or something like that? It is very much tied to their financial reality, and the fact that like, hey, you have a job in academia. A lot of people would probably think if you're a professor, or if you're in like, oh my God, you're in theoretical physics, like that's insane. You must be getting paid the big bucks. The fact is like, no, academia is severely underfunded. These people are working their butts off for not a lot of money. In Love Theoretically, Elsie doesn't even have health insurance, she doesn't have benefits, and on top of that, she has diabetes, and she has to shell out so much money for like insulin and her pod every single month. And I'm really just loving, I'm just loving this more intimate, like personal, individual style in the way that Alya Hazelwood is like describing her reality, because in the previous works, it was just kind of this like glossy, nebulous like way of writing about these issues. But I feel like in Love Theoretically, like it's actually very, it just feels so much more real for some reason. I'm really liking the approach. The other thing that I'm really relating to and really enjoying with Elsie's character, weirdly written cheese and Twilight, and kind of like that forced quirkiness, I think is what I'm trying to say. That aside, the way that Elsie feels that she has to mold her personality to the people around her and be a certain person for every social situation she's in. Guilty. Do I still feel like Elsie is like a real fleshed out character that I could sit down and have a conversation with? No. I think I'm caring less about that fact though, because there is this whole issue of Elsie, like, I mean, she knows. I think she has a much better idea of who she is, but like she is really this like metamorphosizing being based on who she's with, and she's constantly performing, and I really relate to that, and I really appreciate just everything it's talking about because it's doing it in so much of a more blunt, real, sharp way. I much prefer that to whatever the hell we were doing in the other books I read by her, but there's been some great passages in here as well about it. I'll try to find one that I thought was a better example. Oh, sorry. I missed this description of Jack. What the hell is this? He's the dominant turkey of the mating season? Huh? He's the dominant turkey of the mating season. Girl. Obviously, there's not a lot of women in theoretical physics, and she talks about that struggle, but she also talks about that struggle in terms of like having to, I guess, mask in these certain situations. And I'm like, you're hitting the nail, okay? You're hitting the nail. It's in, the nail's in, and you're hitting it. You keep hitting it, and it's complicated being a woman in STEM, even more so when you're young and unproven, and even more so when you have a semi-pathological need to get along with others. Do I want to be seen as a congenial, affable colleague? Yes. And I know the exact combination to achieve that. Using jokes and simple examples to be a charismatic, engaging speaker is a pretty textbook way to come across as a likable guy. Guy being the operative word. This to me just feels like a much more real, raw, lived experience, and I'm enjoying that. Minus this like weird covering of tropes that are always in her books and this weird like online vernacular, weird jargon. I really hope it doesn't throw itself off a cliff, because when I was reading The Love Hypothesis, like I said, I enjoyed about 30 to 40% of the book, and I was like, oh, this is really cute. With this one, I am liking it at the moment, less for the romance, because like Elsie straight up hates him right now for everything that she thinks he's done. I'm assuming we're gonna learn that we've been wrong the whole time. Big shocker. But yeah, there's not really obviously any romance yet. She is kind of just in the end stages of interviewing for this position, and if she gets the position, she's going to be working under Jack, who I think is like the department head or something like that, but we'll see how it goes. I'll catch up with you probably pretty soon. Fingers crossed, okay? Fingers crossed that this is the Alya Hazelwood I actually enjoy. Okay, I realized that I never put this on the shelf, so let's do that first. You know what? Is there room on here? I feel like there could be. Okay, let's just try. Dear readers, I finished Love Theoretically. I should have listened to myself. We have to set more boundaries. We need to learn how to set more boundaries, not only in real life, but like it needs to translate to works, because like I really thought if you like this book, I am really happy for you. Big reminder, people can like different things and it's okay, and people can dislike different things and it's okay, but this was like, in my brain, this was like disgusting. This was awful. I don't know what happened. I don't know where Emma from like the first update went, because this went downhill just so quickly. It just fell right into what happened with The Love Hypothesis, because I liked the first 30%. I was enjoying the first 30%, and then it just like nose dives off of a cliff. I don't understand how it like cranks up the cringe, cranks up the trendy writing, which like, as I was thinking last night, I'm like, someone trying to read this in 10 years, 5 years, it's gonna be so outdated. And I think that's why with a lot of like classic literature, it's like, use language that you know. You don't need to use all of these references and words that are like trendy with the youth right now. You don't need to be doing all of these things. I get it, it's very appealing to latch on to whatever is going on in pop culture and put it into your book because it's funny and it's contemporary or whatever. The scenes get extremely repetitive. The relationship between Elsie and Jack, just in my opinion, is become so stale, so flat, so unprofitable to me are all the woes of the world. I don't really want to get into the weeds with this and into the bigger, more complicated topics about like relationships and the fact that like this is coming, or like they're called the STEMinist novels. Okay, so they're supposed to be feminist novels about women in STEM. And this whole like Elsie putting on a different little coat for everyone she's with, like obviously that gets worked on, and that of course gets worked on specifically through her relationship to Jack, because she can't read Jack, she can't mold herself into the person that she thinks he wants her to be, because she can't get any signals out of him. And this leads her on a journey of like being like, oh my gosh, maybe I should just try to be authentic and be myself, and like tell my roommate that I don't like these very artsy films or whatever. And the descriptions, I'm just so tired. We have little nice passages between them, right? Not everyone wants you to be someone else, Elsie. It would be a waste. A waste of what? Of you. Sweet, cute, that's lovely. I really like that. And then we say dog crap. I just ran away from them like I'm freaking bananas. Like I'm an entire fruit salad. We also have more updates on the way that Jack is described, and it's just like, I don't know who is finding this sexy. I don't know who wants this in their romance novels. I don't know. He looks like an oak tree on steroids with a 6'8" wingspan. Is he even human? Like, what even is that? An oak tree on steroids with a 6'8" wingspan? His headboard, because eventually she sees where he lives, is huge. The bed is probably a few notches above king. Emperor, question mark? Galactic dominator? Galactic dominator. And then on page 262, if you want to avoid it for the rest of your life, I highly recommend that you do. But we had a phrase that was just like the last absolute straw for me. Spoiler alert, I did finish the whole entire book. Elsie's roommate is like, oh, why are you guys not like smashing? Why are you not doing that? And her roommate is like, are you not letting him smack the salmon because of the article he wrote? Smack the salmon. Was there ever a world in which, I've never heard that, but is there ever a world in which that needed to be written? What else? Smack the salmon, hit the herring, take the trout, bang the bass. Bang the bass actually kind of sounds like a cool band name. I read all 384 pages of this. The only good thing I can say now that it's over, two things, right? I still enjoy the talk about the academic politics, about the craziness of it all, and how so many things are just so shallow and based on these hierarchies that really shouldn't exist, or power systems that shouldn't be structured the way they are in academia. And I also really enjoy the talk about like the financial reality of people in science, in academics, in teaching positions. I really like that. And then the other thing was just that like I read this whole thing in an afternoon. It was very easy to get through. I think I read this in 3 or 4 sittings, and it's over now. Oh, this is the last time. Like I promise this is the last time. I just needed to listen to myself earlier. This is the last time I will ever go near an Ellie Hazelwood book. To be fair, this is probably my least worst book of hers that I've read. I would probably rank them like Love Theoretically, The Love Hypothesis, and then Below Zero, because what the hell was that? I did really want to finish a book in this video, and I have, but wow, this not good. So yeah, I would probably give this a sad 2-star, and I will 100% be unhauling. Everything about me despises so much about these books, and I wish I didn't, because they're honestly based on like extremely important, extremely real topics. But everything surrounding them is just like, it feels like a BuzzFeed article. I don't know. As the last book I'm gonna be reading in this video, we finally finished one, and Unhaul turned into an extremely productive episode. I feel, oh my god, I actually feel so much lighter. After putting that book down, I feel like I can breathe, and I'm like, a smile has returned upon my face, because yeah, it was an extremely productive episode. We got rid of 5 books. I'll do a recap with you in a second, because we still have one more book to put on the shelf. Let's do it. Okay, I got the entire pile of books out, so this is everything we have left to put on the shelves. And honestly, I like putting books that I've already read from the stack on the shelf for some reason, so I haven't read any of these yet, but I have read My Lady Jane, and I would really like to see this one on the shelf. So I think that's the one I'm gonna pick from the stacks. Okay, so this is young adult, like historical fantasy. This is my, oh, actually, am I reading anything from here right now? I don't think so. I think it might fit here, or I could finally put this book, which is part of a trilogy that I have yet to finish. And honestly, like, I should put these books in, well, at least the first book, because this is the second book and the third book in a young adult series that's like retelling different Gothic classics, and I have never finished it. And at this point, I don't know if I would even like it anymore, so that should probably go in the jar as well at this point. Okay, so this is by Hand, Ashton, and Meadows. Honestly, does it just fit right here? Yeah, but I kind of like it when, aside from the Shatter Me series, the spines line up. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. That's good. Look at that. We finally got another one on the shelf. And all of my young adult hardcovers are now together. I never cleaned up where Tailchaser's song was from, so it was just stacked in my mass market paperback fantasies. And do you know what's on here that is also in like the slips as part of the Unhaul project is, oh my god, it's book 2 of The Wheel of Time. The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan is one of the slips, I think, in the TBR jar. I am so scared if we are ever gonna pull this thing, because I read the first book in the Eye of the World series years ago, and yeah, I mean, I'm still fine to continue on with book 2. I think I remember everything okay, but I just am so nervous for this because, like, I have not gravitated or wanted to pick up the Eye of the World or continue with this series in months, years, in fact. So when it comes up, I'm very, very frightened, and I hope the TBR jar kind of holds off on that for a while. But yeah, so with Tailchaser's song gone, it's just kind of a little bit less of a stack. I'm here to close off this video to give you a little bit of a recap of everything we accomplished, and also to show you how the stacks, or the stack, it's just one stack, okay, it's just one, is looking now. So we got through 5 books in this episode again. I only completed one of them, and actually they were all unhauls. They were all losers. They're gonna be lost to me. So we had 3 books that were gifted to me, 1 book that was found in a little library box, and then 1 book that I thrifted. We have Unholy Blood Volume 1 by Lena Lim. I only got through 87 pages of this, didn't like it, DNF. We had the infamous, just icky, Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Only got through 13 pages of that. We had The Hero's Walk by Anita Rabadami. I think this is going to be a really excellent novel. Not a topic or a narrative that I'm particularly interested in, and I got through 50 pages of this one. And then we had the one that I was most heartbroken about, actually still so gutted, and like someone is gonna have to pry this book out of my hands and like make me donate it to a little library box, because it's just so cute. We had Tailchaser Song by Tad Williams. I got through 206 pages of this, which also is a little bit gutting, but yeah, just did not enjoy this one either. Although that one is the best smelling book for sure of the stack. And then finally, we have the one book I actually finished, Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I only gave it a 2-star. Big on hauls. So in total for this video, I think if I did my math right, we read 620 pages, and all 5 of the books are gonna go find some new homes. So such a productive episode. This feels so good. I actually love filming these videos so much. I'll show you the stack. This is what we are left with. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 books left in the book buying ban pile of shame. We started the video with 18 books. We're now down to 13. I feel like this is actually doable. Like, it's actually starting to feel doable. I don't know what I'm gonna do when we've unhauled enough books to put all of these back on the shelves. I guess I could buy some. No, Emma, don't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Your excitement for these episodes is just like contagious and makes me want to keep filming them. I really like doing these, kind of doing like a little taste test and stuff. So these books will not be moving with me to my new home, which I'm getting just increasingly more and more sad and just so sad about. Excited but sad to be moving and leaving this place, which I love so much. So yeah, I feel like these episodes are gonna probably be coming at you quick and fast, is that the phrase? Because I need to like get a move on. But I can donate, not just from the bookshelves, but just in my life in general, so that I don't have to move so much stuff with me. I would really like to, I mean, I don't have that much stuff, honestly, but I like to downsize what we do have. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And thank you for bearing with me while I see if these books are actually worth my while or not. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're taking care of yourselves. Hope you're giving yourself a nice big hug or giving yourself a wonderful, cozy, gorgeous, yummy drink or snack or something like that. Kelsper Grendel and I wish you nothing but just warmth and good things until the next video. So until then, ciao.